Hello and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we are going to do a kind of I'm tired of answering questions on Twitter kind of thing, and I'm sick of seeing this, and so I'm going to explain to hardcore Trump supporters why I don't like Trump and why most of us don't like Trump. And I'm just going to go through a ton of things. This is not everything, but it is a very large chunk of the issues that I have with Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with the fact that he won the election. It has nothing to do with the fact that I quote unquote voted for Hillary, because I didn't. I voted third party so that I could criticize whoever. I already knew my state was going to her anyway, so it wasn't something I was really worried about. For those who are like, you're the reason she lost the election. She wasn't a great candidate to begin with. Yes, she would have been better than Donald Trump, but to be honest, a pile of crap would have been better than Donald Trump, and she was just not a good choice. If we had tried anyone other than her, Donald Trump would not have won. Let's be honest. Alright guys, so we're going to jump into the first reason why I personally, and many others like me who are independents, do not like Trump. The first one's kind of an obvious one. He lies. And not just like occasionally lies like politicians lie. No, he lies all the time. If you watch, and I do happen to watch his rallies, I watch his speeches. I watched his speech today on Israel. I'm about to do a video on how bad that is. But he lies. He lies in every speech. He lies in almost every tweet. You can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. And how am I supposed to support a president who doesn't tell the truth ever for any reason? I mean, that's just basic. Okay, he encourages this violence mentality from his supporters to quote unquote either own a lib or, pick a fight with libs, or if you don't agree with him, you should pick a fight with them, you should be mean to them. How dare they not agree with him? Go after the people that don't support me. They just don't deserve to live, kind of thing. And I don't know about you, but in a president, I don't want someone that's that derisive telling me to go pick a fight with someone who doesn't agree with me. Because believe it or not, I'm a huge believer in the First Amendment. I'm also a huge believer in checking the President of the United States by making videos like these, by saying that I disagree, and then allowing my comment section to be open for people to say the most horrendous things to me. I am a firm believer in that. You can go through my videos where you can see that, where I'm like, say what you want, you're more than welcome to. But Donald Trump doesn't support that. He encourages y'all to say the most visceral and disgusting things and to try to silence any critic that he have, which moves us on to number 3. He sits there. Hi, Otis. Ow, are you done? Hang on, guys. For those of you who don't know, Otis is my foster kitty. This is his room. He jumps into videos on occasion until he up and gets fixed on the 4th. And then I don't think he'll be jumping into any videos for a while. Yes, that's my hair. Please don't eat it. Alright, number 4. Donald Trump encourages silencing of the media. And there are going to be a lot of people that say, no, he doesn't. He's a big supporter of media. No, he's not. He calls the media fake, enemies of the people. I've never seen a president who goes after the media as much as he does and tries to silence it. I mean, he tries to take away their publishing license. He tries to have them shut down. He went after the Washington Post through Jeff Bezos by trying to raise the contract for Amazon because he was mad at the Washington Post. No, he's encouraged violence on reporters. He applauded a candidate running for body slamming a reporter. He has encouraged violence on reporters, and our press is one of the most important things our country has. Freedom of the press is so freaking important. It's there to be a check on him, to call him out, to investigate him when he does bad things. Ow. Thank you, Otis. When he does bad things, and it's our job to ensure that the press sticks around. And to have a president who from the get-go has not supported the media, has been mean to the media, and yes, the mainstream media kind of sucks. I mean, I'm about to do a video on how crappy they are to Bernie Sanders, but they still serve a purpose. They're still important, and trying to silence them via the presidency is not okay. It will never be okay, and a president that does that will never have my support. Number 5, he thinks that he is above the law. And you can't tell me that he doesn't think he's above the law, because he doesn't think that he can be sued. He doesn't think that he can be tried for any crime, which technically he can't be tried for a crime while he's president, but he can still be impeached, clearly, which is what is happening. But he thinks that he's the president of the United States and he can do what he wants. And that is not how this works. The president of the United States is still held accountable by our laws, by our justice system. In fact, if you ask me, our president should be held to a higher standard than any other human being on the planet. Are you trying to interrupt my video? Yeah, I think you are. And he shows this on a daily basis by flaunting laws that every other president has followed, like the Amendments Clause. He sits there and gets money from the Republican Party to host events at his hotel, which he sometimes triple or quadruples the price of what a room or a event room would cost. He did that with his inaugurational committee. He charged them, what was it, like 3 or 4 times? The room was $500 a day, and he charged them like, what was it, 10 times that amount? It was like $5,000 a day, which is insane. Are you done? Can I make my video now? He also does this with foreign leaders. Why do you think that he supports Saudi Arabia so much? Because he fully admits that they buy his properties and they spend money at his hotels. And our president should not be making decisions on what countries to cozy up to on who gives him the most amount of money. That's just unacceptable. Are you good? This cat is insane. All right, so the next one really makes me angry. Number 6, Donald Trump is selling our military to Saudi Arabia, and that makes me so incredibly angry. Back in October, he sent 3,500 troops to Saudi Arabia, and he fully admitted that Saudi Arabia was paying for it. He's now sent another 3,000 troops to Saudi Arabia to defend Saudi Arabia. We are not Saudi Arabia's mercenaries. Our soldiers, our boys and girls, our family is not for sale. You should not be able to sell American citizens to other countries to fight their battles. To me, that has been and will always be unacceptable. So I can't back a president that does that either. Number 7, his cozying up to dictators and getting nothing in exchange. Donald Trump has cozied up to several dictators and gotten nothing in exchange. This includes North Korea, who is building nuclear weapons. Then there is obviously Russia, and people aren't going to like this, but he cozies up to Putin. He has private meetings with Putin. He has given Russia classified information that he shouldn't be giving them, which jeopardized our relationship with Israel. Even though I don't agree with our relationship with Israel, they are still a partner that we do need. We just need to hold them more accountable for what they do. And that's something he refuses to do too. And that brings us to Israel. Hang on. Okay, so that brings me to Israel. He has made Jerusalem Israel's capital without even considering the Palestinian state and what that would do to them. They are essentially prisoners in their own community due to what Israel has done to them. I want to see Israel have a state of its own and be independent, but not at the backs of the Palestinian people who were there first, they are being occupied and treated like garbage. And he has been one of the worst presidents to support and forward and move a movement that is not okay. And I cannot get behind basically the genocide of an entire people. Which also moves us all in the same category to the Kurds, where he sold out the Kurds and basically got them slaughtered because of a deal he made with Turkey, which was completely unacceptable in my book, and how he handled that was not okay. Okay, number 8, his handling of Iran. He is not a king, he is not a dictator. He does not understand that he has to report to Congress. He doesn't understand the Constitution. How can you be the President of the United States if you don't understand the Constitution? The Constitution states that you have to get approval from Congress before you do something like that can lead us into war. He didn't even brief Congress. He was briefing people around Mar-a-Lago before he was briefing Congress. That is unacceptable. That is not okay. He will never get my vote from that alone. That could have caused us to go into a needless, unnecessary war that I will not support. All right, number 9. He pushes away our allies. Allies that we've had since World War II. Allies that we need to survive. We can't just live in a world where we don't have allies and we don't have friends. And a lot of them can't take him seriously. A lot of them don't trust him. He gets laughed at because he says the most stupid things, and he goes back to number 1. He lies a lot. and they don't trust him, and they think he's a joke, and they're hoping that he gets kicked out of office next year or impeached because they can't work with him. And other leaders have stepped up to the plate. Germany stepped up to the plate to take our spot on the world stage, and that is not something that is acceptable to me. We are the leaders of the free world, and we should start acting like it. We need a president who acts like an adult and doesn't have a hissy fit and storm off whenever a meeting doesn't go his way. If he can't do that, he shouldn't be our president. It's that simple. All right. Number 10, his handling of Ukraine, which goes back to the whole he thinks that he's above the law. He absolutely held up foreign aid to a country, the Ukraine, while they were at war with Russia, to get political dirt on Joe Biden. That is not acceptable. It is not acceptable to use the presidency to get dirt on your political opponent. If you can't win fair and square, you absolutely should not be the president of the United States. So it has nothing to do with we hate Donald Trump or we watch the mainstream media. I don't watch the mainstream media. I heavily research the crap out of everything. And I don't just sit back and be like, oh, Don Lemon said something. I don't watch Don Lemon. I do occasionally watch Anderson Cooper. I grew up watching Anderson Cooper, so there'll be times when I like to watch his ridiculous, but I don't watch a lot of mainstream media. I don't have cable. I watch things like the David Pakman Show. I read news articles. I research things. I look up things. That's pretty much what I do in the majority of my day. Research politics and other things like that. Read news articles and figure things out for myself. I didn't come to the conclusion that I did not want Donald Trump as my president very lightly. I even at the beginning was like, I don't think he's going to do a good job, but I'll give him a chance and I'll keep my mouth shut. I did it for 2 solid years. I kept my mouth shut until it had become too much and the Mueller report had come out and it was just too much to ignore anymore. You can't just let him be what he is and not stand up to him. Us as Americans, it's our job. Our fundamental job, our fundamental right as Americans to speak up and say that we disagree with our leadership. And for you guys to say that it's anti-American, that we're out to get Trump, that we're out to destroy this country is not true. It's just simply not true. So that is going to be the end of this conversation. I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of hate down in the comment sections, but that's just, it is what it is. You wanted reasons why we don't like Donald Trump? Well, those are mine, and I have plenty more to go. I could probably make a part 2 out of this. All right, guys, I will see y'all later.